What is up, everybody? Brent here from Brento Box. I'm here today with a longtime customer of mine, Dustin Wegner, and we're going to tell his story today about his experience with the company and the product and sort of his journey. So, without further ado, Dustin, thank you for coming in. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to join you today.
Awesome. So, why don't we get into it a little bit? So, you've been ordering Brento Box meal prep for how long?
So I just checked the other day, actually. My first order was February 10th, 2022. So it's been almost 1 year now, exactly on the dot.
Almost 1 year. That's awesome. Well, first of all, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And second of all, how has the experience been for you?
At first, I was just kind of looking for an easy way out of cooking, and I tried all kinds of other alternatives, losing weight, getting healthier, kind of, rethinking how I think about food and portions. That wasn't even on my plate. I just wanted an easier way than having to cook for one person every week. And it's just changed my life. And I just preach it to everyone because I just have delicious, healthy meals and it tastes home cooked and they're easy. I'm not spending tons of money and getting super unhealthy food at the drive through. And I just can't be more grateful for your service.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That makes me so happy to hear. Thank you so much. You said it's changed your life. So let's talk about where you were a year ago versus where you are today. What exactly has changed?
Well, during COVID, I think like everyone, I was eating a lot of fast food. I had more time to eat food. I was working from home. So whereas
Hmm.
before I might have skipped breakfast and gone right in the office and had a coffee, I was going to Salad and Go now and having a breakfast burrito. So I was super unhealthy. I tried all kinds of different meal services. I tried, cooking for myself meal prep, but that was kind of tough as one person. So I'd ballooned, from an average of about 175 pounds to about 215 pounds during the pandemic. I was very inactive. I was in Hawaii about a year and a half ago, and a short hike actually winded me so bad. I thought, this is terrible. I've got to make a change. I've got to try and get my health in order. And so, like I said, it wasn't really on my radar. These meals are going to help me lose weight, or these meals are going to help me. At first, I was maybe even a little concerned, like, oh, 500 calories in a meal, is that going to be enough? But after a while, it really changes your psychology around food and around being full and what you are conditioned that you need by society, I feel like.
That's awesome. Yeah, that all speaks true to me as well in my personal experience. Because I remember when I was sort of in the same position that you were. I was 50 pounds overweight, and I didn't look good. I didn't feel good. It was affecting me physically and mentally. And I sort of didn't really know where to start either. And for me, like I didn't really, this is probably 6 years ago. I didn't really know anything about cooking. I didn't really know how to cook. And I looked at some options out there, like in terms of meal prep, and I sort of felt like, at least what I saw, it looked like it just wasn't meant for me. You know what I mean? Like a lot of like the national companies and even some local ones, like I'd see like their marketing and like, you know, it all looked like it was meant for bodybuilders and CrossFitters and just these jacked dudes. And I'm like, well, that's not me. I almost feel like an imposter trying to order something like that because that's not who I am. I'm not there. And also the food just sort of seemed to look a little plain and bland and just sort of, your plain chicken, rice, and veggies. And I was sort of like, well, I don't want to eat that, day in and day out. Um, so I feel like where we're a little different, we try to, be all inclusive and, really just cater to everybody. Not a specific niche so much like, the bodybuilders or CrossFitters, but really just working professionals, everyday people that just want to eat healthier and save time and don't want to have to do it themselves and also want to enjoy what they eat. Like I wanted to lose weight, but I didn't want to not enjoy what I was eating, you know?
Oh,
So we try and cater our meals to appeal to everyone, and we try and market ourselves to appeal to everyone, to working professionals, to, the general population instead of just a specific niche.
and that's the thing is that eating your meals is not like a punishment at all. I sometimes check on Tuesday night because I know your website will actually update the meals before you post it on Wednesday.
I
Because
don't
I'm
advertise it,
so
but you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the next week's menu and what meals I'll get to eat. And like you said, my dad, he did a diet plan back in, the late 2000s. That was like Atkins kind of. It was a
Mhm.
very intense, no carbohydrates. And it worked, but he was miserable. He was
Mhm.
drained. It was eating his organs. He was sunken in his face and tired all the time. With your meals, it's not like a sacrifice where I'm like, oh, I'm giving up taste, I'm giving up flavor, I'm giving up variety to eat healthy. A lot of times I'd rather have your meal than the alternative, which is going to the drive through. Um, and kind of like what I said earlier, I used to go to the drive through and think, oh, I need to get three things. I need to get a cheesy gordita crunch, this, that, this, that. Now I'm like, no, one Brento box is more than enough. I'm not beholden to that insatiable American, hunger that we seem to be conditioned with bigger and bigger portions everywhere.
And let me ask you this. How do you feel after eating a meal with Brento Box compared to, like you said, Taco Bell?
I mean, there's no guilt. Even if I eat like some of your more indulgent items, like the s'more bites that you have right now or the brownie bites, I just feel like it's all whole foods. It's all natural, ingredients. It's not anything overly processed. It's not too much salt. It's not too much fat. You look at a lot of these meals. I tried the Factor meals. I think we talked about this. And the Factor is a big national company. I don't like to badmouth anyone, but you look at the ingredients, it's loaded in fat, loaded in salt, and these are advertised as healthy meals, and they're advertised as made by dietitians.
Mhm.
So with you, I do feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds, where I'm getting a delicious meal, but something that is dietitian almost like crafted, where
Mhm.
I know my macros, I know exactly what I'm putting in my body. There's nothing really hidden there, and there's nothing really that I need to feel dirty or gross about afterwards.
What about like in terms of energy? Like after eating a fast food meal, like for me, I feel awful. I feel tired, I feel sluggish, I feel guilty because of what I just ate, and then, the flip side is a Brento box. Like I feel like I eat one of those and I'm ready to get back to work. I don't feel tired or sluggish. What about you? How do you feel?
It's my favorite thing to eat before or after the gym, even more than a protein shake now. I love to
Mhm.
have a Brento box because I feel like I'm putting real food in my body. Getting tons of protein, very low fat, very low calorie. So it's so nutrient dense that, yeah, I don't feel like, oh, I'm down for the count, especially in the afternoons. I don't, I have a long work day. I don't feel like, oh, I'm ready to retire now.
Take a nap. Yeah.
Right. I feel like that was the good amount of food. I'm perfectly full now. I don't need to keep thinking about food or snacking throughout the day. Because that's another area where, I used to at nighttime just snack and snack and snack. And you also put on the pounds that way.
Mhm.
And now, I have a Brento box, maybe a yogurt afterwards, and I'm pretty much good for the night, good for bedtime.
Mhm. So let's go back. So you said a year ago you were what, 215, you said?
215,
And you're at what now?
165 or so around.
165 or so. Wow. So there's a 50-pound swing there. You lost 50 pounds. How does that make you feel?
I wasn't even trying. That's the crazy part. I did not go into
It's a
this trying.
happy
It's a
accident.
happy accident. And I was still buying extra large clothes. I got rid of all my thin clothes. I was resigned before really to being obese and overweight. And I just thought, I'm not a disciplined person. I just thought, this is going to be me. I'm going to have a slower metabolism. I'm going to age. I'm going to be heavier, overweight. So it's just giving me a new lease on exercise too. We've talked about for the first time in years, I started exercising again back in October, partly because I had that greater confidence of, oh, I've already dropped so much weight. I can now really try and push for that body that I really want, that ideal image that I really want. So it's really given me just a whole new appreciation for my self-image, a whole new set of confidence that I didn't have before. I feel excited about trying on clothes and buying clothes and things again and going out there, and I'm not embarrassed to go to the gym. And it's tough because I see so many people who are like doing hours and hours of cardio, and I'm like, you don't need to do that. I hardly worked out at all during most of this journey. I just ate right. I just cut out a lot of the snacking. I cut out all the junk food. And like I said, I didn't suffer for it. I don't feel like I deserve a pat on the back because
Well, I mean, you definitely do.
I just
50
bought the
pounds
meals.
lost is that, that's huge. That's a big achievement. And I resonate with like everything you just said, trying on clothes and having more confidence and actually hitting the gym. I mean, I was the same way when I was 50 pounds overweight. I didn't even step foot in a gym until a couple months of just cleaning up the diet and eating
Yep.
healthier. And at that point, like you, like I had already lost 20, 25 pounds before ever entering a gym. And I figured out like, okay, like this is mostly all food. I started like going on walks and just doing like little things. But like you said, when you're, sort of overweight like that, it can be scary to just walk into a gym and just kind of feel like you belong, because for me, I felt like I wasn't that type of person. I didn't fit the mold, you know what I mean? So it's funny that you said that, it started with food and took you a while to get into the gym, and I'm the same way.
Right.
So, um, and now it sounds like the gym is sort of part of your routine, which you look forward to and enjoy.
Yeah, movement is just the best medicine. I feel like that's the secret cheat code to life that for so many years I neglected. And now, not only am I in the gym, having a good time there, I'm going on hikes at South Mountain. I feel like I have better, core strength, lower body strength. I just feel like, my overall energy levels improve, my moods improve from exercise. So I really appreciate that new, I don't know, relationship I have with my body thanks to eating healthier and getting movement.
Well, it's absolutely my pleasure to play a small role in what you've accomplished, and
Big role.
well, I couldn't be happier for you. Just to hear that type of story, and to sit here and talk with you and just sort of, discuss it. It brings me so much joy, and just reminds me that, I'm doing this for a reason, and like this is the reason. I saw myself change physically and mentally from healthy eating and getting on the right track and doing the right things and losing the weight and feeling good and having confidence. And when I started this company, I thought, I saw what that could do for me. What if I could help other people do and feel that same thing, because I know how life changing it is. It changes every aspect of your life. So just to hear your story just really, it lights a fire under me to just keep going. And, the more people that I can have a positive impact on, the better. So I appreciate you sticking with it and being willing to come in and tell your story, because it's amazing.
Oh yeah, and I can taste that passion, in every meal, every week, and the attention to care that you put into the new menu items. Every new menu item is a banger that you put out. New products that you're rolling out, like the juices that are so good. So I could see it becoming like a greater encompassing part of my health. A lot of the s'more bites and the protein bites I'll take on hikes and stuff. They're a great like natural alternative to the packaged processed protein bars. So it's kind of like become almost like a lifestyle for me, the different products that you offer and plug them into my week. I also started tracking my nutrients for the first time with, I think the app, that you promoted, the
Macro factor,
yeah,
yeah.
macro factor, exactly. And so that's really been eye opening to keep track of making sure I'm getting the right amount of protein, the right amount of carbs and everything. And it makes it so easy to know that there's no guesswork in that. There's no weighing things. There's no trying to figure out online. Like everything's laid out for me, very transparent, very clear.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just got back on calorie tracking myself with macro factor, and I'm just like, this is so easy. When you have Brento boxes, you just do the quick add. You plug and play the macros and they're in there. And then it's like you're not weighing out your rice and it's just, it makes it like brainless, like anyone could do it. And I'm glad to hear you say that you're giving it a try, because, it sounds like you're on the right track without it. But I think, with doing it, it might just dial it in that last little bit. So that's awesome.
well, they say too, like so much like abs are made in the kitchen, right? And so much of exercising I see now goes back to diet. I think they say 70, 80% really of the results you see in the gym go back to your diet.
100%.
So since I've really started tracking my protein intake, I've noticed better gains in the gym, better
Hmm.
muscle growth, better performance. And, with your meals are so high protein versus so low calorie, so low fat, it's very easy to hit those high protein targets and still not go over my calorie, my fat targets. I go to one restaurant meal, it could blow my whole fat goal for the day,
Hmm.
which is 45 grams of fat. Your meal has maybe 10 to 15 grams of fat. I can easily eat three of them a day and still be within my targets. So
Hmm.
it just makes it so much easier to not have to really stress and gripe about these targets that, are probably daunting to a lot of people, but I'm able to kind of just plug it in and play with it.
Yeah, that's sort of why we tailor our meals kind of how we do. We stick to under 500 calories, because I think, 450, 475, you know, we try and make a one size fits all meal that satisfies everybody, and that's sort of hard to do, because everybody's a little different. Some guys are 250, and some girls are 110, and like, are they going to eat the same portions like in terms of their meals? Like maybe not, but what I've found is that our meals, and a lot of times those guys that are just 250 and jacked, like they're eating 6, 7 meals a day. So that 450 calorie meal, they're gonna have another in 2 or 3 hours. And that 110-pound girl, that's great for her for lunch, and she won't be hungry again till dinner, or for
Right.
breakfast, and then not hungry again till lunch. So we try and have it tailored to where one size fits all and it fits everybody. And in terms of like the macros, like you said, like we aimed at have high protein because that's like the most important macronutrient in my eyes. Moderate carbohydrates, nothing too crazy. And then we do try to keep the fat a little bit lower because, like you said, in terms of counting your macros, for the most part, people's protein and carbs are fairly high and their fats are more moderate to low. I mean,
Right.
you could tailor your diet to whatever macronutrient really, fits the way you want to eat. But what I've found is, my body needs carbs, especially when
Absolutely.
you live an active lifestyle and you're working out and you're physical,
Leg day.
yeah, exactly. You need those carbs. So that's sort of why we tailor our meals sort of how we do it. I'm glad that it's worked for you, implemented into your system.
And it's nuts, you'll make a pulled like the pulled pork this week. I know that you guys are like shredding so much fat and removing so much. It's
Dude, you wouldn't
never
believe how much fat we took off of
and
there,
I
man.
hate fat, so I appreciate it. All the meats are always lean, all the proteins are always good, the ingredients are always super fresh. So I've never had an unfresh meal. I've never had a complaint with that. And I always think about how at McDonald's the largest cheeseburger they used to have is the small cheeseburger, and the largest fry they used to have was the small fry and the small drink. And over time, it's just gotten so big, and we're just
Hmm.
conditioned that we need so and so much. So I just feel so grateful that now I'll go out and I'll have a moderate sized meal at a restaurant, and I'll be like full, because I'm just so used to eating in that 500 kind of calorie ballpark
Yeah.
that I just, I don't need to gorge myself and have, these massive meals.
I mean, that's a big thing that's important too, is like your relationship with food, and even just in terms of portions and meal sizes. Like a lot of people, if they're accustomed to eating a certain way, like big portions, or they cook something for dinner and then they serve themselves a moderate sized plate, but then you just cooked it, it's over there. You have more because it's there,
Right.
and when you train yourself to really watch your portions and really just sort of dial in that like you don't need that second helping, or you don't need 8 ounces of cooked steak at one time. I'm sure it's great at a restaurant, they bring you out a big old steak and you
Right.
eat it, and then it's delicious, and then you're all tired after. But just to train your body that like 30 to 40 grams of protein at a meal, you know it should be enough. And I think over time, you sort of just your body adapts to that sort of style of eating, and then it just becomes second nature.
Right. And heart disease is still, the number one killer in this country. So it's good to watch that meat intake and watch that red meat intake and everything. So I feel like every week I get a good balance. This week we have chicken, pork, the steak burrito. I feel like I've got all my bases covered. Everything comes with usually a vegetable, a starch. So I'm never really left wanting or lacking in any of my food groups. Just kind of supplement it with fruit, but now you have the juices. So now that's going to be another area that's covered on my bases with my Brento boxes.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the macronutrients are important, but let's not forget about the micronutrients. Those juices are packed with so many micronutrients and minerals and things that our body really needs on a daily basis that I think a lot of us don't get enough of. And I think those are just such an easy and delicious way to like get in all those micronutrients.
I drank one this morning. I vacuumed the whole house, cleaned the litter boxes. I had so much energy. So, yeah, that'll definitely be a good addition now to the lineup.
That's awesome. Which one did you have this morning?
The O2, the greens,
The
the
greens
second
out too?
greens.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that one's my favorite one so far. It's just got the spinach, the kale, the like apple and pineapple.
Yeah, you're
Something
correct.
it's
You're
something like
correct.
that. Yeah, but that one is so good. I mean, when you drink it, you can't even tell that there's kale or spinach in there. It's delicious. But um anyways, I want to get back. So I remember you said a year ago, you tried to go on a hike and you couldn't do it.
Yeah, I was in Hawaii actually, and it was really not even that stressful a hike. It was down a hill to a beach, and on the way back up, I was just so winded, so out of breath. My heart was beating through my chest. It felt like I just knew that, I'm 29 years old. This is not right. I
Hmm.
need to get my life back in order. I need to take control. And it was actually one of my friends that first posted about your service. One of my friends from NAU, Blaze Caudell, and I guess he's a friend of yours or knows you from before. So I figured, oh, this is just a random posting on Instagram, but the meals are open, the ordering's open. I guess I'll try it, right? I really didn't have any high expectation, and I don't think besides going on vacation once or twice, I've really missed a week since then. So it's really just become a major part of my life. When I run out of meals now, I'm sad on the weekend. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
me
no.
too. Trust me. Yeah, so am I. I'm like, I have to figure something out to eat now. That's too funny though. But I that resonated with me about the hike because I was the same way. When I was really out of shape and overweight, I tried to go hike Piestewa Peak, and that's a
Oh,
tough one. I think the first time I tried, I think I got halfway up before it. Like you said, you can't, your heart's beating and you can't breathe, and it's just like, why am I doing this? And like, why am I so out of shape? I can't even make it up this mountain. Um, Needless to say, I came back a few months later and, you know, made it up. But I've definitely been there where try to do something like that, and then you realize, I can't do this. Maybe it's time to like make a change.
our hunter gatherer ancestors are disappointed in us, but
They're laughing at us.
and every year I'd like get to summer, I'd be so like mad at myself, like, oh, why wasn't I out there hiking, enjoying nature, doing things when the weather was nice? So this year, thanks to losing the weight, thanks to getting in the gym, I've been going, to South Mountain on these hikes, going the different trails, and it just feels like night and day. I just feel like a totally different person.
And
So
that's something that you weren't able to do before.
no, not at all.
That's so awesome. So this is a completely new aspect in your life.
Totally new lease on life. And I just turned 30, and I don't think I've ever been as healthy as I am now, thanks
Dude,
to.
happy birthday.
Thank you. Well, it's been a few months, but
Well, still, yeah, 30 is a big number.
yes, yes.
That's awesome, dude. To be 30 and to be, like where you are now, just healthy and good mindset, mentally, physically, everything's just kind of clicking for you. Like that makes me happy, man. I'm excited to watch your journey continue to unfold and see, a year from now. Let's talk again in a
Oh
year
my
from now.
goodness, yes. I mean, I don't know, yeah, but right now I'm kind of on the fence between cutting more and trying to maintain, trying to build more. So it's tough. When you get to this stage, you have different problems. Like, do I want to build more muscle or work on flattening my tummy more? So I'm glad that
Yeah.
these are the conundrums I have now rather
Right.
than, oh, do I have to go up another pant size?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
am I going to be able to walk up this hill?
Yeah. No, totally.
It's a good conundrum.
Yeah, it's definitely a good problem to have. And I go through the same thing, different phases of like, okay, well, you know, do I want to try and put on some muscle or do I want to try and like lean out? And it's always, you know, you can find joy and it can be fun doing either of those things. But like you said, it's a good problem to have when you're sort of just in a space where you feel good about where you're at and then you're thinking like, okay, well, what's the next step? What would bring me more happiness or like what do I want to work towards?
Right.
So that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Let me ask you this. So what would you say? You said you've been ordering pretty much every single week for about a year now. So you've probably tried every meal we've made.
oh, for
Let me ask
sure.
you this. What are like let's do top 3 to top 5 meals. Like if you could pick the menu right now for next
Oh my
week
goodness.
and you could pick 4 meals, which 4 would you pick?
Well, I love your dishes that have the spaghetti squash base. I think both the turkey meatballs and the chicken parm.
You are
So I,
correct. Yeah.
yeah, those are delicious. I think you did the turkey meatballs recently. I said I do probably the chicken parm, which I think you've started doing a gluten free, like very
Mhm.
low calorie crust, which I still don't feel any guilt. I don't feel any shame or any fatness, from eating that. So I love that one. I love the salmon, but you did that this week. The
Mhm.
salmon with the
Cilantro
the
lime crema.
cilantro lime cremas to die
Yeah.
for, and always delicious. The broccoli and everything that accompanies that. Gosh, what else is another good one that I really like? I always love the classic chicken and broccoli. I know that one's boring. It's been a few weeks since you've done that, or maybe a few months since you've done that one. You've been kind of experimenting with the chicken, which I appreciate because it gives
Hmm.
us more creativity and freedom. But I do love the classic chicken and broccoli.
Like the Thai peanut chicken, or we did a chicken fried rice a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was really good. The Thai peanut was good because with that one, I could take sriracha out of I can mix it up. I can take
Hmm.
hot sauce. If I don't want to do the peanut sauce one night, it gives me kind of flexibility, but then I have that peanut sauce too. So I do like it when I can, order 3 or 4 and then mix it up during the week. Lately, with a lot of your dishes, I've been adding my own like avocado, maybe or lime to it, like with the carnitas last week and the carne asada the week before. I got just an
Throw some avocado on
yeah,
there.
and it just really makes
Yeah.
it next level, even
Oh,
better. So
absolutely.
it's so easy just to spice it up.
That sounds amazing. I would love to use more avocado in our dishes. It's just hard because it won't hold.
It won't hold,
In
no.
2 day, in less than a day, it'll be brown.
Right,
But no, that's awesome that you can sort of take our meals and like it's like you already have the canvas that's like pretty much done, and then you can just add the finishing touches.
right,
Because I do the same thing sometimes. If I have a meal and I eat it a few times, maybe that like third time I'll be like, all right, like I'm gonna change it up a little bit, make the flavor profile just a little bit different, just to like keep some variety in there.
right.
So I love that you do that too. I was wondering if some people like I know like we did a barbecue chicken flatbread, and this girl Sammy I know put like she added corn and cotija cheese on top, and I was like, that's genius.
Right.
Why didn't I think of that?
Right.
And like that's super cool of her to take something we made and then put her spin on it. Or someone else took a protein burger and threw a fried egg on top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's cool too. Like I should try that, So it's cool that you can like, take a meal, like you said, like the chicken broccoli rice and just sort of play with it,
Yeah.
whatever your mood is for that day. You know what I mean?
Right. And you haven't done the chicken flatbread in a while. Maybe it's time to bust that one out again. That's a really good one.
That's true. We have not done that one in a while. Actually, I don't know if I've done that one since I got an air fryer, I think back in December. And now I've just been
Oh.
obsessed with air frying everything.
Yeah, so is the air fryer, is that a big difference from a conventional oven in your experience, or would you say it's worth the investment? Because
A little bit.
It's faster.
I would say it would.
I think it heats up faster.
It's definitely faster, and I feel like it also sort of gets the bottom sort of more crispy and done, like to where if you put something on a pan and put it in the oven, usually like the top can get a nice sort of, crispiness to it, but the bottom usually from sitting on the pan is sort of just not as crispy and
Right.
nice. With the air fryer, you can throw something in there and it gets all around, and it's definitely faster. for
Sorry, very
sure.
passionate about the air fryers. You can
no,
tell.
you're always hyping up the air fryer for the breakfast sandwiches,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks really amazing. So I've been on the fence about it. But my mom, my old Jewish Yenta mom, she goes, "It's just a conventional oven. Don't waste your time with that." But it's good to know you guys are.
A lot of people have that opinion, but I would say it's different.
We have a convention oven too, but it takes like 10 minutes to heat up, and this one takes like 3. So I mean, why not use the 3-minute one? Less
Yeah.
energy.
And I think it just cooks quicker too.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, for sure.
It's in a smaller
Smaller
box
space.
instead of a big oven.
I'm all about that convenience. Look, I use my Brento boxes, 2 minutes flat. If I'm feeling lazy, if I'm feeling tired, it's never even a question of, I don't want to make food. It's so easy. So
Speaking of
appreciate that.
speaking of convenience, that's a good key word to hit on real quick, because we're all about convenience. We're trying to simplify people's lives, help them eat healthier, but we want to do it in the most seamless way possible, to where they're not spending a lot of time fidgeting around on the website or. So let me ask you about like the website and the ordering process. Like how do you think that's been for you so far?
it's like, I was saying earlier, it's a fun activity every week. I get to look forward to the new menu. I get to hope and pray, and then I check Tuesday night. Sometimes I'm ready to order right away. Sometimes it takes me till Friday, and I'm kind of like, oh, how many of these do I need? How many, it can take a lot of thought and a lot of planning, because I'll be like, I don't want to regret not getting enough of a meal. I don't want to get too many of a meal.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the website is a great experience. Your product photos are always top notch. All the, nutrients are listed right there, and there's always new things that you're busting out. The last few weeks you busted out that new chicken fried rice that was good, that new carne asada dish that was good, and the new seasonal flavors like the apple overnight oats. I was messaging you about
Mm-hmm.
those. Those are the best thing I've eaten in a long time. A bowl of overnight oats, you know, cold, and it was amazing. It was life changing. So next time you
That's
put that on the
awesome.
menu, I'll probably get five.
I think we're coming back with those this week.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think we're also bringing back, did you try the beef pot roast?
Yes, that was the best for
Yeah.
Christmas. Yeah, that's what's fun too is you'll look at little, you know, special events like that. Like you'll put out the barbecue pork dish for July 4th. You'll put out the pot roast for Christmas. So even though I'm just a single guy who doesn't really cook much, you know, it's nice to have that extra little bit of seasonal flair
Yeah,
during
man,
the
4th of July, everyone wants some barbecue, you know,
right.
or when it's cold outside, like a nice beef pot roast with mashed potatoes. I mean, why, I got to come up with a new menu every week, so I might as well have fun with it and, try and, keep everyone happy and also sort of, tap into, like you said, seasonal items and
That does remind me, there was though a Middle Eastern, I think, chicken dish that you made with your kitchen mate as a test that you never did end up putting on the menu. So you
oh,
got to bust out of the archives at some point because I'm a big
that's
sucker for
true.
anything Middle
Yeah.
Eastern or anything.
Yeah, I think it was a chicken shawarma with her garlic sauce. You know why I didn't do that, honestly? She is such a talented chef, and she taught us that recipe, and she taught us very fast. She's like, we
Oh,
do this, 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 and it takes this, this, this. And like we were, and my chef was there too, and we were both watching, and we're like, okay. And the next day it was like, and we made a beautiful meal prep. You saw it. I know you're excited about it. You messaged me about it. And the only reason we haven't done that is because I don't know if we can do her recipe justice, and I don't want to take something that she's given
right.
us or created and, not do it as well and, not make her proud. She's so talented. I just haven't come back to that because there was a lot to it. Like it looked simple, but there was a lot to it and it was real complicated. And she showed it to us very fast. But I'm gonna have to tell her this weekend when I see her that we're gonna have to. I got called out, and we're gonna have to come back to that chicken shawarma recipe. Um,
The people demand it.
the people to yeah, you guys do. Hey, I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Thank you. No pressure though. Every meal is delicious. Every meal is complicated, but that one did look, you know, did
That
look
one
delicious.
that one was pretty good. Um, so we were talking about the website. So let me ask you: Have you do you use the Apple Pay or Google Pay feature?
I have used the Google Pay, you know, so that works pretty good, pretty convenient, and it's like two button pushes and you're pretty much ordered then,
Hmm.
and then you get your summary in the email. Delivery experience super easy. I don't know how you are so precise. I don't know what technology or what sorcery you use, but the deliveries always come right in the window. You know, like I said, I tried Factor before,
Hmm.
and it was a nightmare. They're like, we're gonna come on Tuesday between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. And there's no window. There is no suggestion. Your meals could be sitting out there for hours in the sun. You have no idea. With your meals, it's always a very precise window. Friendly folks bring them right to the door. If I'm not there, they leave them in a refrigerated bag. I can usually get them pretty quick. But that part of the process is a joy too, whereas other meal preps, it's like a pain and your whole day might be shot waiting for them.
That's interesting. So the window they gave you was 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah, I had zero insight into when it would be delivered.
Probably because it was like UPS or
Right,
FedEx, and they
yeah,
just
it's
had
in
no
this
clue.
heavy box full of disposable, wasteful packaging, all probably going to the landfill. Just terrible. And you get all these meals, they're like glorified lean cuisines, you know, like plastic film over them.
That's a quote right there. That's a
They're
quote.
glorified lean, yeah. Not to badmouth
Yeah, yeah.
anyone,
Not trying to throw shade on anyone,
but
but
I just don't understand why people, why am I myself would pay them 12, 13, $14 a meal for something shipped from who knows where, made in a factory, when I could have food made within 15 minutes of my house locally that's just chef made with love and
yeah, that's
delicious.
actually fresh.
Right. And so convenient. And I don't have all this food waste from when I was going to the grocery store, you know, stuff I didn't cook. I don't have a burnout from trying to meal prep, eating the same thing over and over. So it's just been like having my own private chef in the house.
That's what hey, that's us, man. We aim to please, and I'm glad you feel that way about it. And I appreciate your loyalty and your support. And um, I quit my job last April to do this full time and really just sort of see where I can take this. And I feel like it's because people like you that are just consistent and loyal and been down with me for so long and continue to be down. And, you know, it's because people like you, I get to do this. And I really love to, in case you can't tell, I love doing this. Like, this stuff makes me happy, especially stuff like this. This makes me really happy. So I appreciate you and, you know, everyone who orders through me for allowing us to do what we do. Because it's not just me. My chef loves it. You know, everyone on my team, you know, they're on board with the mission and the vision and the positive impact that we're making in the community. So I appreciate you sticking with us and enjoying our product, and I hope you continue to enjoy for a long time to come.
I'm excited to see where this goes, you know, and get more people on the Brento train, watching your growth up to 650 plus meals a week now. It's been inspiring.
Yes,
and watching you, you know, pursue all these other small business foundations, maybe a storefront, I don't know, but
Yeah.
you know, it's really been incredible, and it's been a lot of fun. And your page, you know, every day I'm checking out what you're posting, and there's fun polls, and it's engaging and useful info like the macro factor recommendation. So I just really appreciate you being a positive influence in my life, in my fitness, in my health journey. And I get to eat your delicious food
Dude,
3 times a day. So
it is absolutely my pleasure, man. We're not going anywhere. And I appreciate you saying that about the page, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people have been watching this story, you know, the Brento Box story sort of unfold. And I've been trying to be just really transparent with people and show people, like, this is what we're doing, you know, and here's what we hope to do. And, like, here's what we're currently doing. And here's how we do this, you know. And I feel like sort of giving people, like, the inside scoop, like sort of letting them see behind the scenes, provides more value to them. Because I feel like a lot of companies, or at least business accounts, like, it'll just be like, here's our product, buy our product, buy our product. And of course there's some of that on my page too, but I like to include, you know, some personal stuff and, you know, behind the scenes, and, you know, here's what I'm doing in my free time, and, you know, stuff that, you know, will help people get a better idea of, like, who I am as a person. Because I feel like when people do business with someone, they want to know who they're doing business with, you know, so they sort of have a little bit more of, like, a personal connection to that person or that business. And, like, you know, like I said, you know, you and everyone who's been following this journey and has been down with this for so long, I feel like you guys are sort of invested in it as well as I am, you know. So that's why I like to keep you guys updated and show you guys, you know, behind the scenes and really what's going on, you know.
there's no Brento box without Brent. So
Well, I'm not going anywhere, so I'll
Good.
be around. I'll be around. Oh man. Well, again, I appreciate you coming in today to chat. This has been lots of fun. And
am I to pose shirtless now for the followers? Or
should we get up and flex? No.
yeah, don't we want to see before and afters?
Oh, I'm gonna send those to my guy Taylor, and we'll
Perfect. We'll superimpose them
yeah.
right over my face.
There will be minimal Photoshop involved.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you. Yeah, this is fun.
Absolutely. We'll do it again next year.
Absolutely. Thank you all for tuning in to this, I guess, podcast. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else to call it.
Episode 1.
Yeah, Brento Podcast, episode 1. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time, if there is a next time. Don't know yet.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
All right.